You won't believe how bizarre this is. At that moment, the Shouyang army arrived for the late king, and that arrogant guy appeared. Old Jin was dumbfounded, like seeing a superhero descend. It's like a rat eyeing a sly black cat. As the Shouyang army advanced, a menacing awe surrounded him. Even the big dogs were trembling like they'd seen a ghost, and Jin was left wondering if the little monk had seen before wasn't even Shouyang. This was like a magic show, a ghost in a cloud of smoke. The late king had hardly left when Shouyang's brother hunted, bringing a prize for the funeral, revealing his greedy ambitions. In a shocking twist, Shouyang's army kidnapped Old Jin, demanding he use the name of the late king to tell the young emperor that the left chancellor was the real traitor. If he didn't comply, they'd turn his son into a delicacy. The brother-in-law snapped out of it instantly. The brother-in-law encouraged Old Jin to follow Shouyang's sure path since the army was steady and could charm hearts. Who could resist? With such broad minds and strength, the future was obviously looking bright compared to the young emperor. But if Old Jin rebelled, he would be betraying the king's trust. What a pickle. At that crucial moment, the brother-in-law went straight for Old Jin's weak spot, forcing him to think hard. With a heart constantly haunted by a sense of duty, Old Jin was torn between decisions. Right when he began to spread the word, hoping to consult a feng shui master about the future direction, those with sharp eyes instantly perceived it as an impending battle signal, while the intelligent ones swiftly flocked to Shouyang's side, almost as if drawn by some magnetic force. But Shouyang wasn't here for chit-chat. He knew rebellion wasn't child's play. It could cost thousands of lives. And the ending was a wild card. Success meant kingship. Failure meant nothing. All followers could vanish without a trace. Anxious, Shouyang confronted the female advisor with a dagger, craving a clear answer for his desires. Spotting Old Jin in the crowd, he immediately interrogated him, allowing Jin to feel the claws of his pressure, which made him realize the late king's worries. Allowing such a hot-headed person to interfere in court matters would turn Old Jin into a mere puppet, definitely not on his wish list. For his final decision, Old Jin resolved to align his heart with Shouyang's, holding hands and walking together. This was indeed Old Jin's choice. The game was on now. If a heartless person led the nation, the results would be devastating. Painful outcomes were all but guaranteed. Yet thinking of his son's obsession with being an official, Old Jin hesitated, ultimately seeking out his son late at night, hoping to hear his son's thoughts on his career. It was a surprise that Zheng Heng wasn't craving high status or riches. He exclaimed he just wanted to serve the people. Fixing the damage is grand, for the caused a real shock to Old Jin. His son was focused solely on the people, while Old Jin was caught up in too many thoughts, losing sight of his original purpose. Ultimately, Old Jin resolved to team up with the left chancellor to eliminate the Shouyang army and restore stability to the nation. They brought the late king's secret edict to the young emperor, revealing Shouyang's plot and urging the emperor to banish him. But the young emperor acted like a fool, firmly believing his uncle was trustworthy. It was laughably tragic. Little did he realize at that moment, Shouyang's strategist had already silently plotted a scheme to change emperors. That very night, the Shouyang army launched an attack accompanied by their strategist, eager to engage in a strategic game of chess with the young emperor. The Shouyang army purposely slowed the pace, while the young emperor stared with the eyes, creating an incredibly awkward silence in the room. Putting such an ignorant nephew in charge was like promoting a student to teacher. An era of regret had truly arrived. As the young emperor pondered how to break the deadlock, the strategist pulled out a magic poison needle, ready to backstab the Shouyang army. Just then, the young emperor noticed a shadow on the chessboard, turned around, and scared Shouyang into retracting his hand, the poison needle clattering to the ground. Hearing the needle drop, the young emperor was stunned, using illness as an excuse to escape like a hare. Upon returning, he flipped through his fortune-telling book, only to stumble upon a shocking secret. That very Shouyang army, which just tried to assassinate him, was now linked to the eerie message of the poison needle. The Shouyang army fell ill, and Old Jin decided to disguise himself as a court doctor to deepen the emperor's suspicion. He had people sniff the special drugs near Shouyang's body, and boy, the emperor couldn't sit still afterward. His state felt shockingly powerful. The young emperor rushed to find Old Jin, deciding to team up with the left chancellor and take on the Shouyang. They set the date for tomorrow. Meanwhile, the young emperor stepped up his game. He noticed a young guy in court who dared to expose what others wouldn't, even the stuff involving the left chancellor. Using tax to exploit women, Zheng Heng was the only one continually impeaching them, and the emperor appreciated him, instantly rewarding. Zheng Heng didn't disappoint, working harder until his eyes grew tired. Old Jin delivered medicine that night. Zheng Heng faced exclusion from court, and the rumor mill buzzed that the left chancellor had arranged for his grandson to take his place. Some things you'd see, but must pretend you didn't. Some things you hear, but must ignore, because there are ways to make you disappear. Seeing his poor nephew, the brother-in-law detested the left chancellor, deeming him a hypocritical gentleman. So he sought out Lord Shouyang, wanting to take revenge through a tip-off. Lord Shouyang feared treachery, while the brother-in-law pleaded tearfully, just wanting to seek a good outcome for old Jin and Zheng Hen.